It's time for local stories from across the East. Local food. Local fashion. Local businesses. This is your home for local. This is the East's Daily Download on Eastern North Carolina CW.
Hey everyone, welcome to the East Daily Download. My name is Mark. I'll be your tour guide on this adventure across the East, which today brings us back to Studio E here at Eastern North Carolina CW. Now, throughout the course of the week, we've been discussing paint, floors, carpets, everything you can think of to decorate this space that we bring you the show from every day. You know, we've looked at some great carpet samples, such as this one. We've looked at hardwood flooring samples. I think Lauren was a big fan of this one. We've got these great paint samples, you know, with orange glow. And that, it feels like we need to go a more classic route for this show, because this show is classic, right? This chair doesn't really fit here though, I don't think. So let's take care of that. We've got the carpet, it's the classic carpet, you know it, you love it. Got this, I don't know what that would be called, you know, it's a portion of the old set. It's kind of a tower. So let's play with that a little bit and see where we go with that. But before we do any of that, why don't you check out this next story here on the East Daily Download. We've got a lot of great stuff in store for you today. So check that out. We'll be right back in just a little bit with the continuation of our set renovation. See you in a little bit.
Get set, go! Everybody loves to take that infamous selfie. We all have them on our phones. We see them on our friends' social media pages. Thank you! Well, it's so easy to add that little selfie stick for an extra touch if you're throwing a birthday party or a special event.
Everybody photo ball, come on, everybody get in the pit.
If you want to celebrate. It's just a fun way to jazz up your pictures. If you're making selfie sticks out of wood, you can paint those wooden pieces. And then once those pieces dry, you are able to add your lettering. You have a lot of options for letters. Get a glue, you can use a super glue, you can use a hot glue gun. Once your letters have dried, you can use your glue of choice and secure those sticks to the back side.
I'm so excited. I'm so excited. I'm stealing his last name because he stole my heart.
WNCT.com, your one stop for local news and weather from across the East. Visit WNCT.com for details not in the newscast.
This Fashion Friday, we're speaking with a fashion designer who studied and got her master's in Milan, Italy. Now she's back in North Carolina getting ready for an upcoming show, and she's giving us a behind-the-scenes look at her collection. I'm really excited to check it out. So I'm here with Jamila Zankovic, and you are a fashion designer in the area getting ready for a really big upcoming show.
So I've been wanting to be in fashion design since I was 10. As I grew up, I started sketching more. I would hang out with friends, we would do like DIY projects. When I was growing up, we had home ec classes where we learned to sew, and so that just kind of developed into a passion for me. I thought about it and I thought, you know what, I missed out on the opportunity to go abroad in undergrad, and I was looking online for something like a graduate program. And when I looked internationally, I found Domus Academy.
And so when you're coming up with these different projects, you're able to determine your message, right?
Yeah. I usually start with a very strong personal message. Like the one I did for healthcare and disability was a very strong pro-healthcare message. And the one I'm doing for Stellar is a very pro-mental health. So with Stellar, our message is one about mental health, but it's a positive one about mental health. So I'm most looking forward to my first fashion show. This is the first time I've ever had my work shown and a bulk of my work shown. So I'm really looking forward to seeing how the light hits certain things and how certain things like move as the models walk. I'm really excited.
sunshine. Good morning, sunshine. Today could be your lucky day. Everything will go your way. Ha-ha.
Hey, we're back here on the East Daily Download. Hope your day's off to a great start so far. We are up.
Need you to move.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you.
We're in the process of putting a set together again. You get to see the behind the scenes, how this whole goes together. John is measuring and lining everything up here. It looks.
That's all up to code. That's good.
It's up to code apparently. I did not know that he was a certified code specialist, but apparently he
There's
is.
a lot you don't know about me.
That's correct. We need the over the top part as well. Yeah, so if you can make that happen, that'd be great.
We do all the work.
He's good at it. Why wouldn't we? Okay, we will be back in just a minute here on the East Daily Download. Before that, though, check this story out, and we'll see you in just a little bit.
I mean, education is important because that's one of the ways that we know that we can eliminate debt, that we know that we can elevate people.
High school students in the state will soon elevate their knowledge in personal finance.
Because we know that education is the key to success.
In 2019, House Bill 924 was passed. It mandates a course in economic and personal finance be developed. It also states that the course be a graduation requirement for all students graduating from a North Carolina public high school. Diane Taylor is a mother of two. Her kids aren't yet high school age, but she's still excited that this will be a part of their educational journey.
So growing up, I didn't necessarily have that education, nor did my parents. And so it's something that I've had to learn as an adult, which is costly.
Taylor and her husband say they work hard to make sure their children understand the value of a dollar. Taylor's middle school age daughter Morgan is already ahead of the money management game.
Being smart with your money is important because it'll get you in a better place in life.
Morgan will one day be one of the many North Carolina high school students who will have to complete personal finance during their time in high school.
Save it, invest it, leave it alone, and let it grow for you.
Many other states already have a personal finance course requirement in place. It takes a village to raise and sometimes educate children.
Because even if they are getting it at home, just having that reinforced in a different setting by different individuals will help them to really understand a very complex subject.
This is Bernie Ritter. I'm the news director at WNCT in Greenville, North Carolina. We're here in our new WNCT digital studio. We want to be able to give you information, news and information now, not waiting for 5, 6. We'll have things like Delisa Robles, who does our Spanish speaking news segment, afternoon news updates, special reports, breaking news can come out of this room, because we're not like doing conventional broadcasts. This is where our news has been going for a long time, what we're calling WNCT Now.
Excitement is in the air as brides from all over eastern North Carolina prepare for their big day.
For us, our customers are everything. Our brides are everything.
Local David's Bridal representative Joshua Kennedy was one of 56 local vendors in attendance at the New Bern Riverfront Convention Center on Saturday for the annual Live Bridal Expo.
Most of the vendors here are local, so we have local florists, we have local venues around New Bern, bridal shops that's around New Bern and surrounding areas.
Their goal is to support the future missus as she nears the big day.
A lot of brides, when they first start out, they're kind of overwhelmed still with the fact that, okay, this is actually getting ready to happen. But with David's Bridal, what we like to do is make this a smooth transition for them.
Everything from dresses and tuxedos to flower decor was on display.
It's just helpful to see what everyone has to offer too, because then it makes a difference of, oh, I didn't think about that last minute, which there's a lot to plan for, so it's hard to get everything in.
And for some soon-to-be newlyweds, this is a time to bond together.
it's always fun for us to come together for stuff like this because we get to see everything that we will have at our wedding as well.
Emotions are running high as the many future Mr. and Mrs. are getting ready to put a ring on it. And for the others, like myself, I'm just here for the cake. In New Bern, I'm Kelsey O'Donnell, 9 on your side.
People always ask me what kind of weather I like the most, and the more I stay in the business, the older I get, I always jokingly tell them I like sunny days. I like sunny days when it's about 70 degrees and there's no active weather coming anywhere. I have a lot of people in my family that love snow. I am not among them. I know many of you like snowfall. I think for a meteorologist, when it snows, especially in eastern North Carolina, it means time away from family. I'll take a sunny day over snow any day.
Hey, we're back here on a special edition of Let's Craft. No, I'm kidding, but Shayla will be very pleased by the work John is doing here putting the set together. How's it going up there?
Oh, just great. Shayla ain't got nothing on me.
Okay. Anyway, you see these set pieces being put together here. It's kind of an intricate and elaborate piece, but John's doing a phenomenal job with that. And he's measuring it too for a good measure. It's for good measure, get it? Anyway. The jokes are free, everybody.
Jokes are to the next segment.
Hi, I'm Lauren Pate. I'm here with David Lee Jones. Hey, David, how are you today?
I'm good. Hope you are.
Doing good, doing good. We're so happy to have you here.
I'm glad to be here.
You are a two-time Carolina Music Award winner.
Yes, I am.
Can you tell us about it? Back-to-back years, actually, right?
Yes,
yeah.
Yes. I didn't even know I was nominated. I was in North Dakota. My wife called, and I was just waking up in a hotel room. And she asked me, had I seen Facebook? And I said, no. I said, what's on Facebook? And she says, you've been nominated for a Carolina Music Award. She says, Luke Combs is in that category. I said, well, okay, well then I'm not gonna win it. And because Luke Combs was in that category, I figured, well, there's no need to get tickets to go to the show. I've got shows scheduled myself.
Right.
So we went on to Chesapeake the night of the show, and just before I walked on stage, maybe 5 minutes before we were getting ready to go on stage, my wife calls, and I said, what's wrong? That's the way I answered the phone. What's wrong? And she says, you won. And that's all she said, was you won.
What did that feel like in that moment?
I could feel the color rush right out of my body.
So now I know you were telling me a little before we got started with the interview that you used to be a truck driver and then you transitioned into playing music full time. Can you tell me how that went?
Well, I went to truck driving school in 1994, got my CDL license, and I've been a truck driver now, well, 26 years since this is 2020. I just got into kind of singing to myself and making up stuff, and that turned into songwriting. I was able to play music on the weekends and drive the truck during the week.
So who and what would you say your biggest influences are when it comes to your music?
My dad, growing up, we would ride in his car, and he had an old 8-track tape player in the dash, and he had a bunch of Hank Williams Sr. tapes and some Conway Twitty and Johnny Paycheck and stuff like that. And I just grew up listening to him sing Hank Williams mostly.
Right. So with that being said, if you could play and collaborate with any musician, dead or alive, who would you want to collaborate with?
There's actually two, probably. I would love to sit down and play with Waylon. And probably Alan Jackson.
So can you tell everybody, any viewers out there watching that might want to keep up with you and see where you might be playing shows, or just to learn more about you? Do you have a website, Facebook, anything like that?
You can get all my music on iTunes, Spotify, anywhere they sell digital music. My website is davidleejones.org. Everything about me is there. Or you can just Google David Lee Jones and my mug will pop up.
There you go. There you go. Well, thank you so much for being with us today, David. We can't wait to hear some of your original music coming up later in the show.
Director Guy Ritchie is back to the genre that kicked off his career with The Gentleman, a fast-paced crime film with an all-star cast led by Matthew McConaughey and Hugh Grant.
Sweet Mary Jane is my vice. Your poison, on the other hand, is and always has been the destroyer of worlds.
Matthew McConaughey is drug kingpin Mickey Pearson, who triggers an all-out war for his empire when he reveals he's looking to retire from the game.
An enterprise like this will need a face with a clean past, which sadly, I do not possess.
Our antagonist explodes on the scene like a millennial firework and has indirectly started a war.
Talking to me about the laws of the jungle. Or was it something about being beneath me? After years of acting, is Matthew McConaughey planning a retirement just like his character in The Gentleman?
I haven't really thought about retirement. I've enjoyed a few sabbaticals. We have jobs that you can do them until you go horizontal for good. Hopefully going to be doing it until then.
One person most people wouldn't expect in a Guy Ritchie film, Hugh Grant. So what drove him to work with the director?
Well, I love him for being stylish. It's a rare thing with British directors that they have other amazing qualities, you know. They're marvellous with script, they're marvellous with actors, but there's not that many who make the whole thing cool and stylish visually, and I'm a fan of that.
Is there a problem here, Ray?
I don't know. Is there a problem here, Fletcher?
I see no problem at all. I forgot to wash my hands.
For Entertainment Tonight, I'm Nichelle Turner.
Now downloading Week in Review.
Jay of the East is a local artist here in Greenville, and he spends a lot of his time here in this studio.
Hey world, how's it going? It's Angie Casada. Good morning, good morning.
An abandoned Siberian husky with unique eyes has been adopted after rising to internet fame.
Inside this historic home is the perfect place to be if the lights go out.
Whole hog wood fired is what East North Carolina barbecue is.
The WNCT.com digital dining series gives local Eastern North Carolina restaurant owners a platform to share their story.
Some call her man's best friend, others call her a superhero. Harley the Beagle uses her special nose to sniff out a potentially life-threatening bacteria.
Stay tuned for tomorrow's episode of the East Daily Download.
All right, you fire those up? All right.
Well, that's going to do it for this episode of the East Daily Download, or as we call it, Set Renovation. This feels like home, doesn't it? It feels familiar and warm and inviting and all the good stuff, right?
Why change a classic?
Exactly. Look at what we did. It's the same thing. Oh, but can you put that up there? Since you're right there. And no set would be complete without the famous Doc Brown wig from, of course, the Back to the Future episode. Do you not talk?
Solid.
She doesn't have a microphone. We'll see you on the next episode of the East Daily Download. Have a great weekend, and don't forget the WNCT mobile app. Anywhere you go, you can watch the show on the go. Get it at Google Play or the App Store, or WNCT.com under the Download tab, and we'll see you on the next episode when we come back to this magnificent set.
See you later.
Bye-bye.
got lucky in the back of that Chevy out on Hollowell Road. You grew up and went off to college. What you saw in me, I'll never know. Your daddy said, boy, leave my little girl alone. At least let her get through school. But that was back before we knew better. Back before house payments and water bills, cell phones and 18 wheels. Our hearts change from day to day, just like the weather. Back before 40 hours of work all week. Good night, Daddy, and that kiss on the cheek. That was back before we knew better. Now it's you and me on that front porch swing, staring out at the yard. I can't help but think how my life would have turned out if I hadn't got that car. Our kids are grown, have families of their own, but I can't help but think back before we knew better. Back before house payments and water bills, cell phones and them 18 wheels. Hearts change from day to day, just like the weather. Back before 40 hours of work all week. Good night, Daddy, and